A little bit of a later start this morning for me on the farm. My kids started school yesterday, so I'm taking them to school in the morning, and by the time I get back, it's a little bit later than usual. But I'm taking the Fummins over to the bin. I want to check the level of the bin and see where we're sitting at, because we've got to be close to 22,000 bushels in that bin, and that's getting up there. And I believe the bin's 28,000 bushel bin. I don't want to be surprised and all of a sudden the auger plugs up and find out it's full. So let's not do that. So I'm going to run over and climb up the ladder, or steps. That's right, it doesn't have a ladder, which I'm glad it doesn't. It'll be a long ways up there. And then check it, and then we'll go out to the combine, start it up, let it warm up, do a few things to it, and then away we go. Cut another day. We are down to 1,300 acres left, and so we're getting there, and it's going by fast. That's good. I like it. I like getting it done quicker. A little less stress. Love it. All right, just pulled up and walk up to the top of the bin. We are a ring and a half left. So when I say ring, I'm talking a whole sheet. So this one here goes from here down to here. That's one ring. So ring and a half. We're almost full. And then the excess we'll put in the other bins. We got extra storage that we haven't used in like a couple years. So that's a good thing. We're using them. I love it. Whew. Did legs this morning. That hurts. Ha! Leg day. I don't really do very well on leg day.
Hey, we got a traffic jam here. Better get some stoplights.
Running this 11, it's amazing how you don't know you're running the 11. Other than your ground speed, seeing stuff fly by, the way it turns and handles and feels, you would just think you're in a 7, 8, 9 series flagship. It's just, it feels very much the same. It might be a little quieter. I think it's a little quieter in the cab, but coming to the end of the field, spinning around, going back in, I mean, this thing turns as sharp as a flagship combine. Somehow they managed to get that turning radius tight like that. You don't even realize it's a big old combine. Just whips right around, back in the field. It's amazing. Not amazing field though that we're in currently. It's not yielding super great. A lot of weeds, just doesn't, not impressive field. So, but we're just about done, so we're gonna move on, hopefully find a better one.
Kobe, get the coyote! Whoa! Willie Coyote! That coyote wasn't paying any attention. He was probably after a mouse, just very engaged in a mouse. Kobe, he had fun. There he goes, way over there. Okay, he's gonna come out stepping on his tongue when he gets back. Yeah, but he had fun. Oh, that's fun. Always fun to see that happen. He doesn't catch him. What would he do with a coyote if he caught him? I mean, he's got enough fur for a coat himself. Don't know. All right. Adventure continues.
All right, watch. Here's gonna be that tip where it dumps a little bit in the ground, or out of the spout. And there it grunts, tells you right where it's gonna land. And then the grain follows shortly after. Isn't that nice? Pretty slick. Oh, there's a lot of weeds. It's bad. It's bad. I'll be in this field shortly with the sprayer after this. I don't know. We crop sprayed it. I don't know. We've just got some horrible weed issues thus far. Just trying to take care of these weeds. Weeds as in kochia. And Russian thistle too. But it just got out of hand, and the conditions have just been perfect for it. So hopefully we can take care of it. I think what happened, it was just so dry in the spring, it didn't germinate, and then the crop came up, we sprayed, and then we got a rain later in June, and that sprouted all this new weed flush that was there. So we're gonna have to take care of this after this. At least we have options.
Pretty sure Nick's trying to gain my affection back because he's being nice to me and he let me have the AF11 for a little bit. I think he's trying to make up for the fact that I wasn't able to mount the cannon on top of this thing. I'm still pretty bummed about that, by the way. I mean, we could literally blow the competition away. It would be the biggest bowling ball cannon mobile unit, off-road, and bread-making machine on the planet. I mean, how cool would that be? By the way, this thing is amazing. I'll tell you, it's massive. You look at this thing, you walk around it, and you're just like, wow, it's a big piece of machinery. And then you start cruising down the road, and it just like, wow, this thing moves. What's amazing to me is the turning radius. They stretched the frame, made it longer, and yet they somehow made this thing turn like nobody's business. I mean, I'm very impressed with the turning radius on it. It feels like I'm in the other combine, to be honest. Our 8230s, the 9260, it really feels like I'm in those when I'm turning around. But at the same time too, you can just feel this bigger machine. Like you just know. It's pretty impressive. I'm not going to go into all the different settings and all the cool little features because Nick's more savvy than me. But what I am going to say is this thing's legit. I wonder if they could ever misplace this combine. Like it all, like somehow it just goes off radar and it stays on our farm. That'd be cool. I'd be okay with that if somehow it could just stay here. Because this thing's pretty sweet.
If you ever get cozy and kind of forget how fast this thing really goes in the field, you go run one of the other combines for a bit. And I was at 5.5 miles an hour for about an hour, and I got back in the 11 and going 11 miles an hour, and it is just nuts. It's just crazy. This is terrible crop here. It's 10 bushel wheat, but it's so fast. I just can't believe how much ground I'm covering right now. This is wild. Absolutely wild.
This is the last load going in the bin. It's pretty full, but I think we can fit it in. So I'm gonna head up onto the very, very top of the bin, and I'm gonna look down the spout and make sure it's centered. And I might actually have to hold the spout so that it can be more centered in the bin and force more grain to one side or the other side. But let's see if we can top this thing off a little bit more. And then we move the auger. So yeah, it's a nice calm day. A lot of steps today. Did I mention leg day? That was brutal. Looks full, but I think we can get the other truck in there. We'll try. Oh yeah, there's plenty of room. This whole other side over here got quite a bit of room. I didn't get the auger perfectly centered, so it's been shoving more grain this way. So yeah, we'll get it full. There we go. Bin's full enough. We're done with this bin. I like it. I like the fact that we were able to fill both of these bins, and we still need to fill a few more bins. That's a good thing.
Well, we got into some cleaner wheat. Not as much weeds in this, but it's only running about 8. It's not, it looks like there's more out there. I know it's not great looking wheat, but I thought that'd be at least 12 to 15, but no, it's not good. This ground's just harder ground. Harder ground is that there's not as much organic matter in it. Topsoil is really thin. When it's dry, it just scorches this stuff. This ground just doesn't have much resilience. So we're just knocking it out quick. I'm setting a new record, almost 60 acres an hour, 58 and a half right now with this machine. So it'll be out here real soon. That's what's nice. But this land does grow nice crops. If you get rain on it, enough rain at the right times, it can actually be a pretty productive land. But this year it's not going to be because they just didn't get that rain. So down there, about a half mile, we've got some really nice looking wheat. So for some reason that caught a rain and this did. And that's still green, so we're not going to be able to get to that yet.
That's the first male jackrabbit of good size I've seen this harvest. I've seen a lot of small ones, and some female ones, but that's the first male. You can always tell the difference between the males and the females. As far as big jackrabbits, the females, they'll run out with the ears down, then run back into the crop, and then try to hide, then run out, run back. The males, they'll run out, stop, ears high, wait, hey, you want to chase me? And so then they wait, and then they run off or run around, and then they stop, and then wait, and then run. It's kind of a game to them. So you can see the difference between the two. He's having fun. All right, last pass the next field, and
It's still sitting around that 7 bushel an acre. This area is really bad. It's a lot of acres too, which is really depressing because it'll bring the numbers down across the whole farm. Yeah, but we'll get her done. Here's a reference of speed. I'm going 11. Dad's going 5 or 6. Just amazing. And if you look at his crop, there's more heads being left and stems being left than on this side, and you're going twice as fast. This header, I just want one. It's so bad. We gotta find a way. Maybe we can upgrade ours. I don't know. We'll look into it.
What was that? Something just went flying by me.
Just a little bit left in this field. All 3 of us are in it. And I've only got 8% fuel left. It is low. Def's okay, a little under half, but my fuel is just fumes almost. So hopefully we don't run out. We'll get this finished and I get it parked and shut down. If we get this done soon, we'll quit. Then bring the fuel truck out tomorrow and then put some fuel in her, finish out some more acres, and I think I'm gonna have to say goodbye to this combine. It's gonna be a sad goodbye. This thing has been absolutely amazing, but demos are called the demo for a reason, and it's got plans ahead of it, so it's got to hit the road. Plus, we're basically out of acres, so even if we did get to keep it, we won't be able to use it until next year anyway. So, all right, finish this field. All right, it's been a minute and a half. You're done. My turn.
Nick, just 1 more minute.
No, it's a minute and a half. That's what I said. That's what you get. Minute and a half.
All right.
Come on. Happy heart.
All right.
Happy heart.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Ungrateful kids. It's ridiculous. Well, we've officially hit a crossroads. We're down to our last 500-600 acres of wheat, and it's too green. I ran the 11 back to the farm last night, put a little bit of fuel in it, brought it back. Leg arm started cutting the next field we're supposed to go on, and it's too green. So then he jumped across the road to the other field that we thought would go, and it's too green. So we got 1 field left, and I think the majority of it's ripe, but there is a water hole in the bottom of it that might be green. So I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna run this combine over there, cut around all the ripe stuff we can. I think we're gonna have to bag it, call it quits, and wash the combine down, pull the header off, and get this 11 ready to go on its way so it can continue its journey of impressing people. It's done that here, that's for sure. It's gonna be a sad day. I do love this combine.
I was able to get up early enough in the morning and jump in this beast, this monster, and start cutting before the boys could get it. Actually, I'm in the AF11 for the first time, been cutting for about 45 minutes, and I'm absolutely astounded by what the capabilities of this machine is compared to our Class 8s. It's just amazing. I'm just still trying to comprehend in our crop this year, and we're averaging, it's around 13, 15 bushels an acre on this piece. Sometimes it gets up to 30, sometimes it gets down to 9. But this combine, married with the 50-foot flex head, is awesome. I can't believe how fast I'm cutting. The controls are really not hard to figure out. I'm just turning the headlamps right now. I'll hit the GPS. I'll hit the flex level, and then I'll just push the control lever, speed lever all the way forward, and then hit the automation, and look at it. It's amazing. So I love the dual monitors. I'm trying to figure out my new arrangement where my mind is saying where it is from running the one screen 1200. But they're very crisp, wonderful displays compared to our 700s that are in our combine. But once you get an idea, you look and then you just look up and you can see the performance of the field, and you can have mapping up there, dual combines in the field, triples, if you have the subscription, and they'll see where each other is. Also, the display for the different functions of the combine is amazing. And so once you get it dialed in, it will take care of the whole process of the ground height, the speed, the flow. It will regulate your speed to your comfort level, what you want. It's amazing how well it's cutting off at 11 miles an hour top end. Shorter wheat is able to cut it all off, get it into the head, and not leave spears sticking up behind. So I'm just impressed. I'm still trying to grasp the speed that I'm heading down the field and consuming this crop. And it varies. It isn't just nice and even. And we, like this area right here, it'll go over 20 some bushels an acre. There's been 30 in this field, 35, 36. And then the ditches, a slight swell, and that flex head will just flex in around the curvature. Very impressive. Very impressive. Oh, man, I wish you guys could experience this. Just as quiet in here. It's it's running. It just feels smooth. When you're going along this fast, you're thinking, man, I'm just. And there's some little undulations like that, and it just kind of like an air ride, and it just kind of just floats over it. Awesome machine. Now, I don't tell them where we are. I can just keep cutting for days and days. All right, we'll catch you in a minute.
I got the crew. This guy, right? Just you? It's just Levi in the truck with me. We're just gonna be together this time.
Hey, I'm back here.
What?
Hi.
Oh, there's more.
Hi.
Where do you guys keep coming from? Thought there was only one of you.
Hi.
Hey, you. Eat your chips.
No, Mom.
Eat them.
No.
Okay. All right, let's go.
I'm cutting 30 bushel wheat at about almost 8 miles an hour. 20, now it's about 27, 28. And we're getting up to 9 miles an hour. So that's not doing too bad. In fact, that's doing awesome. Now we're back down to 18 bushel and we're up to 11. So the transition between when it hits the heavy and then when it releases and goes into the lighter yield doesn't jerk you around at all. It just slows down a little bit and then processes that, and then as soon as it starts doing, you hardly feel it pick up again. And so it's not jerking you back and forth, the automation. So yeah, great, just wonderful. Here's another thick spot. Okay, I can just feel the engine load's up to 110. There, it pulled back down again. Dropped down to 75% engine load. It's processing that. And so awesome. Amazing.
Yeah, it's just crazy. We live in such crazy country. A mile that way, 8 bushel an acre, right? You guys are watching at 8 bushel an acre. Here, 30 to 40. 30 to 40 here, and I'm running this thing hard. Just back her off a bit. 100% engine load there. 100% engine load. Anyways, look at that. 36, 35. It just feels so good to be back in. Look at this wheat. Look at it flow. That's how it's supposed to look when you're harvesting. See that? See it bunch up like that? That's how wheat's supposed to look. Not the kind of wheat that we've been. I mean, look at that. 46, 47. And what's different here? Well, this was fallow, so it sat idle for a year, so that's one thing. Same with that over there, though. Had the same amount of fertilizer, same seed variety, seeded within a day of each other, same spray put on. The only explanation is the quality of land here is better than over there. And this area probably caught a shower. Might have caught a 2/10, a half inch, quarter inch, something like that, when that one over there did not. So the rainstorm just happened to put more here than over there. That's my only explanation. It's just crazy. And it feels really good. It's not gonna make the averages of the whole farm go up that much because the majority of the farm was teens for yield. But it is nice, especially at we're tail end of harvest, to get to do this. Feels good, but I'll tell you one thing. Oh boy, do we have some poor looking wheat left to cut at the end of the year. Yeah, we would like if we get a bushel an acre. It's gonna cost us money to drive the combines over it, but I think we'll probably cut it off anyways to turn into insurance because it was that CRP that came out and we knew it wasn't gonna do well. If it droughted and it's gonna be bad. You just tell by driving by. It's sad. Wait for it. Wait for it. It's coming. Hang on. There we go. Yep. That's what I'm talking about. Yep. Hit 100. No, won't hit 100. 70. That's pretty good, right? All done. Field's done. This is an alkali bottom, as you can see. We don't even farm this anymore. This is actually some new land we picked up last year. Dad bought it, just not a ton of acres, but there's a few here. Definitely is the latest addition to the farm. Good land, except for this. So we don't farm this. That's junk land. That's what we call junk land. There's just not much value to it. Maybe a solar farm. A solar farm would go great right there, right? Yeah. No, anyways, but we're done with this field, which means we're out of acres. Everything else is too green. So we're not gonna be able to do any more harvesting until, well, at least a week from now. I guess let's run the stuff home, park it, clean it off, and do the sad job of pulling that FD250 off that AF11, wash the AF11 down, clean it up, send it on its way. Some lucky person's gonna get around it for a bit. It's a fun. Enjoy it, whoever you are. Enjoy it. It's a good machine.